A couple of things that I heard, from all, that came from all three of you in one way or another. There are a couple of different points that I'd like to ask you maybe to expand on a little bit. You talked about how homosexuality, if it becomes legitimized in marriage, it can be a threat to civilization. Can you explain why, with one of the values of our civilization, hopefully in Western civilization and democracies, is tolerance? Why is the fact that we are tolerant to the point of allowing people of the same sex to get married detrimental to civilization? And the other question is, one of you mentioned that marriage has a particular function, which is procreation of the species, to keep the species going. Do you really believe that if a small percentage of the population that is getting married are not going to propagate the species, that with the terrible population explosion that we have now, that that's going to be a problem?
Gay marriage will not be the death knell to Western civilization, I'll admit that. But for the past, say, 70 years, we've done so many experiments on the traditional family unit, and so many experiments on traditional marriage. It's bleeding and it's barely surviving in this country. In the first half of the 20th century, we experimented with no-fault divorce laws. Well, guess what? Divorce is much more common now than it used to be. Then in the 1960s, we launched another great experiment by giving welfare money to unmarried women, even young girls, who had babies without getting married. It was based out of compassion. What's the result? Out-of-wedlock births are now skyrocketing. Today, nearly half of all babies born in America are born outside of traditional marriage, without a father in the home. This problem is worse now than at any other time in our history, despite the availability of birth control. And let's not forget the other great experiment we did on marriage, feminism.
Oh dear.
Greatest slogan of feminism, please hear me out. Murphy Brown was a TV character in the 1990s. Murphy Brown taught us you don't need a man to raise a child. Well, if you don't need a man to raise a child, you don't need a father, then you don't need marriage. Two of the most popular slogans of feminism. Marriage is comfortable slavery. A woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle. So yeah, we should have tolerance, but we shouldn't be tolerating all of these modifications of the traditional family unit. The changes we've experienced in the past 70 years have been meteoric, but no one notices it in our own lifetime because it appears gradual. Will Durant was possibly the greatest historian of all time. He understood the importance of tradition. He said, tradition is to the society what memory is to the individual. And just as the snapping of memory can bring about insanity, so too sudden breaks with tradition may plunge a whole nation into madness. And marriage is not some minor tradition. It's not like Halloween or 4th of July firecrackers. It's the most important tradition in our culture. And tolerance is a good thing, but anything to an extreme can cause evil. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Thank you.